Little Ned Umber has retreated back to the last Hearth to go ahead and gather his men and make his way to Winterfell. However, the Night King has arrived with 17,000 undead ready to destroy the Umber threat before they can make it to Winterfell. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Seven Kingdoms Total War online battle. Today we have, as I said, 17,000 undead whites charging towards the last Hearth as they try their best to rally the defenses. As you can see by the balance of power bar, things are not looking good for the Umbers, and maybe this is a price they pay for betraying the Starks. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these Game of Thrones battles every single week just before the next episode of Game of Thrones does come out, Season 8. If you guys are enjoying these and want to see more, be sure to go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. Also subscribe if you haven't already. As well as that, make sure you go ahead and hit that bell notification so you always get notified whenever we post a video. So yes, in today's battle we have a pretty insane one as the last Hearth and the Umbers try and make their stand, already throwing some cavalry out against the forces of the whites, just trying to slow them up as much as possible. As well as that, you can tell that this is a fairly long engagement, so be sure to go ahead and make sure you're sitting comfortably and get ready for one hell of a battle as the Umbers hold their line to the bitter end. Also, this is definitely one of my favourite settlements in the whole of Attila Total War because each of these streets can be fought over. You can get units through each of the gaps in between the houses. It's absolutely crazy. It's such an awesome map. And then you also have a keep back here as well. Be sure to let me know as well in the comments what you guys want to see in the next one as well, because obviously the Battle of Winterfell should be next week's episode. I believe it's episode 3, and that's going to be absolutely insane. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. But let's just dive into this battle, get ourselves ready for one hell of an engagement. So we do have the Umber cavalry right now maneuvering around, trying their best just to harass the whites. But unfortunately, the Umber cavalry isn't exactly super tanky. You know, these are kind of more of the lighter variant of horses rather than like the heavy knights of the Vale. So because of that, they're actually going to be struggling a little bit against the whites. The whites are going to be killing a fair amount of them whenever they engage. You can see quite a few of them going down, and now they're having to pull out of the battle. And obviously, if you don't know what this battle is from, this is obviously, if you remember from episode 1, when the little kid was like talking to Sansa and saying he needed more carts. And then obviously at the end of the series, at the end of the episode, you see him with a sword through his stomach, pinned to a wall, obviously dead, and he gets set ablaze by Beric. So yeah, that's basically what this battle was. You know, the battle that happened at the last Hearth is is what you saw at the end of the episode 1. So this is what this battle is trying to recreate right now. It's the Night King coming for him and destroying the settlement. As you can see on the front line, we do have some levies, some last Hearth levies, trying their best to hold up. And these units are pretty crappy, so they're not going to be able to hold back the undead for too long. Mainly just equipped with like basic swords and axes. But they will hold the line for a time at least, giving everyone else enough time to fall back within the city itself. And obviously the real elite part of this battle is going to be able to get further and further back. We have the guardsmen of House Umber. These guys are a lot stronger. But again, not really like a crazy ass armor at all. But again, you know, it's not really going to be up to the men. It's going to be up to the fortifications. It's going to be the choke points. It's going to be the archers. And, you know, in Seven Kingdoms, the archers and the javelins do insane damage. So if there is any hope for House Umber, it's going to be coming back to the keep and trying to hold that fort as long as possible. But I mean, there are just so many undead, as we saw earlier, 17,000 of them. I think eventually they're just going to grind down the defenders until there is nothing left. I mean, the cavalry, by the looks of it, have already been taken care of here. There is literally just one horseman left. He is riding to Winterfell to raise the alarm. Quickly, go! Go, 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 my man, to Winterfell. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. What's the hero as well? Is it a special hero? It's probably Great John. Oh, it's Small John Umber, yeah. Right here. You can see him. Small John Umber. F in the chat for him. F in the chat for a lot of Game of Thrones characters, I think, after this season. But back to the fighting, we also have a small contingent of undead moving around. The White Walkers do know tactics, I guess, and they're going to be pushing around, and I imagine trying to smash down this gate just with pure weight of numbers, because they don't have any ladders up here yet. And they're waiting to bring up a battering ram as well, so it's going to be a while until they can get all the way up the hill, up the back entrance and assaulting this part of the wall. But that's realistically what they want to do. They just want to throw numbers at every single breach, because having 17,000 soldiers, or I guess undead, is pretty unreal. And they just really want to just tire out the defenders as much as they can, tie up as many units so that they just can't handle every single breach and they have to fall back. And you can see the undead are slowly cutting their way through these levies. Luckily, the levies are they're pretty, like, you can get rid of these guys and not have to worry about them. Expendable was the word I was looking for. Yeah, these levies are pretty expendable, so it's not really a matter of losing them. It's just kind of, you know, kind of keeping the enemy in place for a little bit so you can really form up your defense. And that's going to be the assault on every single side. And here we go. We've got some guardsmen now thrown into the fight. These are the dudes with the shields. So House Umber already committing a stronger unit to the fight, looking just to now do some damage to the undead. But the undead are just relentless. Look at them just waiting in perfect silence. That's pretty messed up, right? It's pretty messed up. And as soon as one of these breach points go, because obviously they're attacking from 3 entrances right now, whilst also advancing up here in their waves. I mean, let's look at this. Oh, wow, the battering ram is already up here. That is crazy. Yeah, these undead are going to be pouring through the keep very quickly. I guess we do have probably pikemen going to be committed over here, or you have some archers as well. But I think these longbows are saving their ammunition because they just don't want to overcommit and waste their ammo this early on in the fight. And we do have a lot of pikemen as well, but yeah, this is pretty bad for the defenders that they're already being hit in the back. I mean, this gate is going to go down in a couple hits, and then undead are going to fly through, so they need to be very careful. There's about to be an assault on every single side. Brace indeed. Heavy fighting on the front layer. And has anyone broken their way through? What do we have defending this area right now? Just some guardsmen, but the guardsmen are going to be forming shield walls, so they're going to be a little bit more on the defensible side right here. And I think burning oil is going to be, burning oil is going to be in their favor. So setting the whites alight as they come flying through that gate is going to be very, very effective. But the whites just have the pure numbers. And especially if they break through this here, they're actually just clawing at the gate right now. Look at this. As the burning oil comes down, they're just scratching at that gate. And the gate is going down pretty quickly as they smash against it. That's not going to be too good for them. But we do have some archers up here as well as they try and bring them down. Obviously shooting up their fire arrows. Bring them down, bring them down. And more reinforcements are being brought in. I mean, just look at the sways of the undead. This is where you need like a good artillery hit or something right here. There are just so many of them advancing into the fortress. I mean, look at that right there. It's pretty awesome with the castle in the background. And just off into the distance is just a constant stream of undead. There is no hope for Winterfell if the last Hearth is going to fall this fast and this hard. You can already see as well the undead are making good progress. They've kind of pushed back the Umber shield wall, and there's only like a select line of infantry trying to hold up and keep them at bay. They really need to dive into this and just hold them here for as long as possible, because the longer they hold them here, the better. And we do have some archers as well now firing down into the position. I always loved the way in Attila Total War that the archers did shoot. They always used to shoot them and duck behind the walls. It was just a kind of a cool, nice touch to the battle, but there are just so many undead just waiting to come in. And this isn't even the main assault. The main assault was out here. You can just see the sheer numbers of them waiting to come in from every single angle. And I believe they also have some, like, I'm not sure if they're bringing these, if they've just got using a battering ram or something. But they do have some, like, siege towers and stuff they can bring up to the front line to actually assault the walls if they want to. I mean, I imagine in the TV series, they're probably just going to be climbing the walls rather than anything else. But it's going to be one hell of a battle, especially because you can see that they're constructing trebuchets by the looks of it in the trailer type stuff. Jorah Mormont's going to lead a cavalry charge against them right away, and then they're probably going to fall back to the city. But also from the original trailer as well, it looked like they all get absolutely destroyed as well. From I think it was the second teaser trailer they released for Season 8. It basically just shows loads of courtyards with dead bodies everywhere. So chances are, I mean, who knows if this is actually going to happen, but chances are they're going to get absolutely destroyed at Winterfell and have to retreat back somewhere. Maybe they're going to march to King's Landing and ask Cersei for help, and then, yeah, who knows what's going to happen. But, yeah, somehow I feel like Winterfell is not going to go well for them. But it's going to be one hell of an episode. You know, it's supposed to be the longest battle sequence in history. And they studied Helm's Deep for a long time as well. So it's just going to be one hell of a battle. And hopefully, you know, it's going to just define the series right there. Going to hopefully be really exciting. So if we take a look at the overall battle right now, you can see the undead have finally broken through right here. And this is going to be really useful for them because now they can send their undead units. The Night King can command his units to go and take a right and hit these guys, and then also come down this street and hit these guys, and basically allow more and more of the undead to pour through. You can see the undead are actually coming through right there and just advancing up in preparation for this breach to be held. Has the gate been broken down yet? Yeah, the gate has also been broken down here, and the undead are flying through. You can see House Umber are already having to commit more and more infantry to this fight, just simply to keep the undead at bay and not letting them break through the defensive line. Because they just have so many numbers, all they have to do, if there's a single breach, the undead will just pile through with so many numbers. That will be not much that they can do about it. And obviously there are just so many more soldiers coming up as well. The archers on the walls are trying to pick away as many undead before they get here, but I somehow just feel like it is not going to be enough. Yeah, as you can see, House Umber are only down to 3,000 men now. I mean, the undead have also lost close to 5,000, just under 5, I guess 6,000, 4,000 even, sorry. But still, you know, it is closing, you know, the gap kind of quite nicely for them.
Nothing remains of this unit now.
And I imagine out in the village itself, yeah, we're seeing the undead just pour through the cities, or the village area, committing everything they've got, and yeah, probably going to be opening up all of these siege points. I mean, these guard infantrymen have done a great job, but it's just they just needed more support. You can see all the piles of dead. It would be so cool if they managed to, like, somehow make it so that when people died, like, they'd rise again as the lights. That'd be literally insane. Unfortunately, though, work on this mod did stop. This was really the last faction that was added to the mod, so it's a real shame, but there is still plenty here to have an awesome Game of Thrones battle. And there you go, the undead are just swarming through the men of House Umber. And you've also got more undead coming in the distance as well. Hundreds of them pouring in through the side streets, sprinting towards the demise of this unit of guardsmen. They do not stand a chance. And now that's just going to allow literally, I don't know, 10,000 undead to pour in through the village. This is kind of cool as well. There's actually a general all the way back here as well. That's really cool. The White Horde general. I guess there is no Night King. There is no Night King model, but just imagine him up here commanding his forces to fight. So we have more undead as well pouring their way in. It'd be so nice if there was like grappling hooks or something for like certain units. They could like climb up these mountains or something. That'd be a bit unrealistic, I guess. So we got some spearmen forming up a testudo at the gate itself, which is going to be pretty effective at holding them at back. There's also a whole range of different weapons, which was a really nice thing. Like, I feel like Seven Kingdoms did a great job at all the different variants of weapons. The majority, I mean, like, every house has its own unique style, which is crazy considering this mod has so many different houses in it. But, like, they all have their different, like, most of the North houses use similar weapons, but they were completely different to, say, the units from the Reach or the Lannisters or the Westerlands, which are the Lannisters, obviously, or the Vale. Like, each of them regions kind of use their set weapons, and then each house had its own unique armor, really. I mean, right now, though, they are holding the undead back very nicely. Over on this side as well, they're continuing to keep them at bay. They brought up some pikemen as well, so the pikemen are going to be very effective at pushing them back. Javelins being thrown from House Umber are doing an amazing job. They are killing so many of these ancient white hordes. But their ammunition will soon be spent, and they're also killing a few of their own men as well on the front line, which probably isn't the best thing they could do. We have the artillery being launched as well on the huge clumps of the whites, and they are some direct hits, sending the whites flying, man. That was a perfect artillery shot right there. I wonder how many kills it got. It probably won't tell me exactly how many kills it got, but 500 kills on that artillery piece. Wow, that's absolutely insane. I don't think it will be enough, though, unfortunately. These archers as well have a pretty good kind of shot at the enemy right now. Oh, these are crossbows as well, so these will be pretty effective at just sending them flying. And decent range as well. You can see they've got like perfect view right here. They need to be careful not to hit any of their own men, but even still they can unleash some pretty deadly bolts at the enemy. One of the great things that the whites have on their advantage in this battle is going to be that they don't break. As you can see, that they're going to die, you know, go down to the last soldiers. So there's something that they don't have to worry about, as you just see more and more of them being brought up in the distance. Oh, that's scary, man. That is extremely scary as they get thrown forward. On the left defense, we have a box set up as well. So as soon as these guardsmen fall, the whites will go and come into, I guess, this box of doom that they have set up. But to be fair, there's not really a lot of whites left over on this part of the battlefield. I guess that's why the Night King has sent 3 more units of these 200-man, or I guess white units over here to go ahead and reinforce this section. There's still plenty as well filtering in from this side, so there's still, I mean, there's still so many in the city as well, just waiting. Eventually, these units will just be grinded down to destruction. And as you can see, there are not many left on this front line. I mean, obviously there are still plenty more to defend, but even still. The whites are doing their jobs. They're just throwing their bodies forward at this defensive wall. We have a nice little kind of triangle set up here as well, so when the whites do finally break through this gate as well, they can, you know, find themselves in a pretty hard situation. This is going to be really important, though. If the whites can take this gatehouse, which it looks like they are doing slowly but surely, then that will stop the burning oil from coming down on them, which will be so important and give them a much greater chance at breaking through on this. And yeah, here we have it as well. They are falling back, opening up another defensive choke point. There you go. The whites have broken through the keep somewhat. And that's going to allow them to pour in with everything they have. And they still have a lot of units. I'm not really sure where these guys are going. I think they were supposed to be going up here. It's just like endless like swarm of them marching to battle. And they're going to be flying through this gate with full force. Obviously onto the pikemen, which is going to be pretty bad for them. But in Seven Kingdoms, pikemen aren't as OP, especially in, I guess, just in Tiller in general. Pikemen don't tend to be that crazy OP. So the whites will drag them down. Obviously, also that means they're going to take this gatehouse as well, and hopefully stop the burning oil as well. because it's still held by the North, but I think they will take it very soon, if not already taken it. And that should stop the burning oil and allow them to come through a lot more effectively.
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
We also have Whites charging forward now through this gatehouse, so they are assaulting this keep at every single level, and they've finally broken through this section, so the defenders are going to be up against it for sure. House Umber are deciding to bring their men back inside of the city gates because this defense out here is not going to hold for much longer, even though the bodies are piling up. There is just simply not enough defenders. Too many people have already left for Winterfell. As well as that, you can also see back here that the gates have been secured by the undead. Even though I think it's going to be like a pretty consolidated victory on this gatehouse soon enough. Like, House Umber have committed a lot here for the right reasons, right? They want to try and take this out, and it would be a great idea to maybe send some of these Whites, even more of them, around this side to reinforce this, just to keep House Umber stretched as much as they physically can, because they're assaulting down every single avenue, and as you can see, they've done great damage to these pikemen. The pikemen down to only 58 now, which is going to obviously affect their capabilities and their offensive power. As more and more undead come flying through the gate, there are still so many of them left. I mean, if we take a look at the balance of power, we can see that, I mean, there are only 7,000 undead left remaining, but I mean, that is a lot, right? But kill-wise, I feel like the House Umber have done a great job at holding their own. I mean, balance of power is still absolutely in favor of the attackers. Still, that's not bad. I guess as soon as they break through these choke points, like as soon as one of these choke points gets broken, then it's all over. But we do have a lot of ammunition left on these crossbows still. I mean, with javelins up there as well as more crossbows. So I think once they unload their ammunition, we're going to rack up so many kills and then just be able to break through. Out of interest, can we see how many kills a few of these infantrymen do have? 200 on that one, 113 on this unit. So these guys are racking up a decent amount of kills, and I imagine the undead have also got a few themselves in these units. They just need to continue to keep on putting the pressure on the Umber defense, because eventually it will buckle. It doesn't have enough men to hold every single choke point. So I think definitely more reinforcements needed on this right-hand side. Oh, and you have the Night King himself being brought up to the front lines to rally the soldiers forward. Not that they need any rallying because they physically can't break. This is going to be the next defense though, ready to crumble. And I imagine as soon as this defense does go down, we will see the crossbows opening up with their bolts, just trying to whittle down and thin out the attacking forces. Yeah, they're just using their numbers now to pour through the thin lines of the Umber swordsmen. They just don't have the men to keep them at bay, and now the soldiers are coming around the back of them. And you are going to be seeing the volleys coming in from the crossbows now, looking to cause some damage as the undead do clump up. No one is being sent around this right-hand side, though, and I think that might give House Umber a chance to win this battle, honestly. Because it's going to allow them to commit like all of these units to the other two choke points, you know. That's going to be pretty valuable, and I guess around here as well, there's not really a lot, so it's a real shame they couldn't bring any like catapults or anything, because like to destroy parts of these walls would have been extremely valuable. Maybe it would have been nice just to have someone like bring a catapult and destroy these, and then just like leave the game or something. Because it would just make the undead like a lot more effective, like as if the ice dragon had just come along and made some breaches or something. Yeah, the entire front line here has been completely broken, and now the undead can charge forward against this gate. It also seems like we're going to get another break over here, but there are still some more guardsmen ready to interdict on that battle line that is broken. More infantry being thrown forward. And yeah, I think they really need to put the pressure on here, because if these guys can commit over, like, this is going to break soon. There's not a lot of units here. There's one unit of pikemen and then, you know, some depleted infantry. If they can keep these soldiers here, they can easily break through this position. And you can get through all, like, these are places you can actually run through. So you can quickly come over here and help out this gatehouse and help out over here and harass the defenders. So they need to either take this quickly before this is taken, or they need to send more soldiers right here. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's great to see. Another 2 units of whites are being sent, and that's going to hopefully just keep more of this infantry there so that they can break through this position, because I think this is going to be where the breaking point is going to occur.
Men are broken and running for their lives.
House Umber are quickly trying to bring more and more men over to this breach, but I don't think it is going to be soon enough. The cavalry is having to come in now to quell this so that reinforcement can get into place to try and stem the bleeding. But the undead are breaking their way through this left-hand side, and that is going to be catastrophic for them. If there is a hole in their defense, there will be no coming back in this battle. You can see the pikemen now moving in as well, trying to just throw back the undead, but the undead do not care. And just like that, the infantry are now in place. However, it has left this left-hand side extremely vulnerable. The Northmen, though, are, however, taking back this gatehouse, so if they can get that burning oil to continue to come back down, that would be extremely useful for them, as the undead, again, once again, try and pour through this gap. And there we have it, the burning oil coming down, killing swathes of undead left, right, and center. Over at the main gate as well, the undead are pushing forward, mainly just the weaker units right now. They have plenty still left to throw into this battle, but I feel like the defenders might have this one, just because they've got the choke points, they've got the pikemen now. And I think when the breach does happen, they just won't have any units left to really exploit it, because these like kind of rear places are desperately running out of men. Only like 2 units left right here. Only a handful over there. So as soon as these rear positions are gone, House Umber can focus everything on the front line and just hold back this kind of last remaining couple units. They are going to be committing 2 more units on this left-hand side. 2 more white hordes charging through the gates, looking to cause a breach. But I think House Umber have the defense. No guts, no glory, indeed. Yeah, we can see the undead pouring through once again. But the pikes are just so strong. The fact that the pikes are basically hitting them as soon as they come through this gatehouse. I think the Night King may be pushed back. Now, obviously, we know in the series that he does probably win this battle extremely easily, just because they weren't ready for it and he had a goddamn dragon. So, and the defense was obviously run by a little boy. So, they didn't stand a chance in the series. But maybe in this battle, you know, they held off the first wave, and then, you know, I'm sure the Night King has more than 17,000 undead, you know. I'm sure he would have brought up a lot more soldiers. And this defense, there's no way they would have had 4,000 soldiers. They probably would have had like 200 or something in the TV series. Probably not even that, defending the castle. Because a lot of their soldiers would have all died at the Battle of the Bastards. And I'm even sure before that as well, like, they probably didn't even have like House Umber. They would have lost men in the War of the Five Kings as well. I know House Umber is a fairly large house in the north, but still, they probably only had like 1,000 banners to begin with, if that. Because I think Rob only had 15. Did he have 15,000 men? He didn't even have 15,000, or did he? He had something like that. Because when he finds that spy in season 2, Rob says to tell Tywin that he has like 30,000 men or something, and I think in reality he has like 10 to 15,000 banners, if I'm not mistaken. So they probably had, like, in the season 8 battle, which we obviously don't see, we see the aftermath of, they probably literally had like 50 men at the castle, maybe like 50 to 200, I would say. Some of which already being at Winterfell, some of which, you know, just helping the moving. There also would have been Stark soldiers there, because they would have given them wagons and horses as well, which obviously would not have made it. But I think the defenders are going to keep on holding this. You know, they've got a very good defensive line, and I believe the Undead are just going to run out of steam at this point. The Night King is now making his final push into this settlement, and it feels weird to say that because obviously in reality he did easily storm this castle, but in this battle he's having a much harder time of things, and I think he's just going to simply run out of steam in the game battle right here. He is throwing plenty more soldiers into the fight, but yeah, he just doesn't have enough. You know, for some reason 17,000 soldiers is not enough. Unfortunately, these whites can't climb the walls, and if he would have had a zombie dragon, the battle would have been over in about 2 seconds. Unfortunately though, this time it is not the case as the infantry charge in. I mean, this battle was definitely very, very close, and even though Advanced Power still thinks it's very much in favour of the whites, I just don't see them breaking through these defensive positions, but maybe they do. He has sent a big detachment of reinforcements right here, but again, I don't think they're going to be able to kill, you know, guardsmen and pikemen as well as guard. Oh, these are only longbowmen though. If he focused down this point, maybe there is still a chance. Maybe I'm overestimating the defensive units, because this is four divisions of whites charging in, and all they really need to do is make one breach, and then maybe there is a chance. You've got the rest of them all being committed here. Luckily, there's nothing on this right hand. Oh, there is actually still people pushing here as well. Wow. So these are keeping the pikemen at least at bay here. That's a unit. And maybe I spoke far too soon. Maybe the whites are going to still have a chance of taking this one. Because as we said, there are literally only longbowmen here, which obviously are not going to be an effective unit. But I think the cavalry coming in and helping out is going to be huge. They need to take back this gatehouse before really charging in, so they stop the burning oil from coming in. And something that they might not know, which is really unfortunate if they don't know this, but in this map, you can actually make your way through this gap. You can make your way through this gap as well. You can exploit these holes in the walls, in the city itself, and actually run soldiers through the spaces, like basically through the gardens of these people. So I don't think they do know, because in Total War you generally can't do that, but if they did, they could send a unit through this hole and come back round and help out over here, and probably do the same over on this left hand side as well. So it's unfortunate that they probably don't know that, but even still, they're putting up one hell of a fight. And as you can see, these longbowmen are getting slaughtered on the front line, being cut down like animals right now. There are only, how many? There's only 34 of them left now. And I assume we're going to see the cavalry coming in. Yes, we are indeed. Little John Umber charging in. And we're also getting more of the Umber swordsmen throwing in as well, because they have to keep this defensive position. They are moving some crossbowmen to help cover the causeway though, which is going to be useful. But yeah, maybe I spoke far too soon in this battle, because these units are getting demolished by the sheer numbers of the White Hordes. I think I must have spoken too soon. I was like, yeah, this battle may easily have this, but they're just running out of men. I guess there just are so many whites here. There's only 900 of them left. There are only 2,000 whites left. So this battle is going to go down to the wire. I honestly don't know who's going to win this battle right now. I mean, the archers surely are going to cause it. But again, you know, these defenders can quite easily break from the battle, right? Whereas the whites can't break. If they can, they need to try and get some soldiers up on the wall as well to stop this. As more and more undead just pour through this gate every single second. Yeah, like, soon enough, these spearmen are going to break. And soon enough, these spearmen are going to leave gaps in the wall. And that's going to allow the whites just to sprint their way through. There's a handful of them here. More pikemen being brought over to the defense. Little John Umber, or Small John Umber, sorry, is trying his best, but he's running low. And if he dies in this engagement, that's going to be catastrophic for the defenses. I mean, that's him right there. If he goes down, that's going to be massive, because obviously the humans suffer from morale, and if they break, if just a single unit breaks in this battle, it is probably over at this point.
Their general is dead.
And there we go. The general has gone down. No, is that I don't know if this was this general or what. I honestly don't know whose general that was that broke. We do have the Umbers, though, charging in here, trying to cut off the stream of infantry coming through the gate. Looking to split up that defense, and more pikemen have arrived, and that is much needed.
Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
I'm not actually sure what side we're on. Are we on? Yeah, so we're the defenders. Okay, so one of the white generals died. Okay, so I think Little John Umber is still alive. With these crossbows are in such a good position right now. Literally overlooking the entire battlefield. Firing their bolts down. And probably killing a white every single shot. At this range, you'd expect these guys to be slaughtering them.
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
Yeah, look at the damage they are outputting right now. They're doing so much damage, burning these whites. And yeah, that's going to be all she wrote, I think. So a very, very close battle. I thought they might have had it towards the end because this front line was looking extremely weak. But with the crossbows coming in, the reinforcements hitting them in the side, the general still being alive, luckily they're going to repel the whites here. I mean, I'm sure this was just simply like a vanguard of the army of the dead, and the proper army will be turning up very, very soon to go ahead and finish off the defenders. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Please do let me know what you guys want to see in the next one. We'll jump ahead now to the very end so we can see the kills. I'm interested to see if anyone else racked up as many kills as them catapults did. And yeah, let's take a look. So the men of House Umber managed to hold the fortress, but only just. It was very much a Pyrrhic victory. And if we take a look at the kills, I mean, my god, them pikemen held the settlement well. Over 800 kills on them. I mean, the whites only have 2 units, so it's very hard for them to really kill these pikemen. But yeah, these guys did so good. Surprisingly, this one didn't do as well, but all the infantry really racked up a lot of kills. The cavalry got over 500 at the start of the battle. And the archers were really one of the weakest components, honestly. I mean, this crossbow getting over 500, but everyone else only 200, which, you know, really was surprising considering how much damage the pikemen did. You'd think that the crossbows would just be having the time of their lives, but maybe they didn't use all of their ammunition. But if you guys enjoyed this battle, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.